Football Manager HD here, and it's gonna just be a bit of an update video today. Don't really take much notice of the background. It's just an offline save. Manchester City, just a fairly easy save. I suppose everybody does at some stage, I'd say. Probably not with Manchester City, but one of the top teams. Anyway, moving on. I've got a proposition for you guys, which is going to be which new series should I do? Because what I've been noticing over the past few weeks is the Aston Villa series is really going down very well with everybody, which is quite good. I think it's nice to see that people are enjoying it. As for the Pentagon Challenge, not so much, and I can see why. Because really, like, I've been at Whitbank Spurs and then Sun Source. You know, they're not exactly two teams that grab your attention just like that. But nonetheless, I'm still going to continue on with the Pentagon Challenge because I want to finish it. I want to complete it, but it's going to kind of take a back seat and probably be my third series on this channel. As for the series you guys picked today, will be the second series. So I've got 5 possible options, and there's going to be a straw poll in the description, hopefully, which you guys are to vote on. Like, currently it is Monday, the 15th of December, and it is 22 minutes to 6. And I will be closing the vote at 8 on Wednesday. 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Anyway, let's get through what the teams I could go for, which you guys are going to decide for me. First one, not many of you guys will know this. Cove Ramblers. So this is really kind of taking shape of the Wexford Youth project last year. All of it's greyed out because I don't have Ireland loaded on this league. Anyway, they are probably in real life the worst team in Ireland at the moment. But they've got some decent facilities actually. They have a 9,000 stadium, they have decent enough youth setup. And it really is taking on from the Wexford Youth project last year. I suppose I could do it with Wexford Youths again, but I'd say that's a bit boring, especially considering I'm already doing Villa again, and that's just because I'm a kind of keen Villa supporter. Anyway, as an Irishman, I always like to see the League of Ireland represented on Football Manager, it's very rarely done, to be honest. And so I'm gonna try. If you guys vote for this one, it's Cove Ramblers. It's the Ramblers project, and I think it could be a good series. Again, if you didn't watch the Wexford Youth project, you probably won't know. But it's just kind of, we're in the first division in Ireland. We'll start off in, look to get promoted into the Premier Division, win that, and then kind of advance in European competitions. Anyway, the next one is one which is close enough to heart. York City, from Minster men to Champions League men. York are team in League 2 at the moment. In real life, came up from the conference a few years back. I'm just quite attached with York. I'm a bit of a York fan. I go over to see them a few times every year. I saw them twice in that year they went up. I went to see them in Wembley twice for the FA Trophy final against Newport, and then the conference playoff final against Luton, both of which they won, which was very pleasing and a great day's out. But it's just fairly bog standard, trying to kind of raise a team from League 2 to the Premier League and beyond. I suppose it's not quite your generic Conference North to the top, but it is League 2 to the top. So that is option number 2. Trying to remember my options now. Next one is going to be Sunderland. The drawback, I suppose, from this one is the fact that it's probably very similar to the Aston Villa one, in terms of like mid to lower end of the Premier League team, trying to just kind of gradually build them up. I just feel actually with Sunderland they've a bit more potential, they've a bit more financial backing, they've a slightly bigger ground at the Stadium of Light, and they've got potential. They just don't. I feel like they've just got over earners in their side. I think Adam, like on the game, Adam Johnson 50 grand a week, Wes Bryant 47, O'Shea 47, Cattermill 45, Altidore 38. A lot of overpaid players in their squad, which I'd probably, if I took charge, would look to kind of trim down and try and bring in some new kind of fresh talent. They've actually very few young players in their squad. They've got a 20-year-old, Wickham's 21, a few 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds, but a fair chunk of players kind of in that late 20s. And I'd like to bring a newer, fresher look to Sunderland. A save that is rarely done on YouTube, actually, a Sunderland save. Haven't seen one this year. If there is one, please notify me of it, but because I'd like to see it. Anyway, it's going to be option number 3, and I think it has potential, but the only drawback is it's very similar to the Aston Villa one. And next one is going to try and kind of dominate dominate a country, but break the traditions. And I suppose you usually see that with people doing saves in Spain, trying to break the force of Madrid and Barca. But unfortunately, that's been taken a bit of a downer, because Atletico Madrid kind of did that in real life. They broke down the force last year. They won the league, which was kind of to everyone's shock. But in Scotland, it's still very poor. Rangers have kind of dropped off the face of the earth. They're in administration problems. It's now coming out whether Ali McCoist, is he there, is he not there? You got Hibs and Hearts also both in the second division, which is disgraceful. Both Edinburgh clubs down there. That's shocking. Which has left Celtic, and really the only trailing, there's a few in the trailing pack, but a few of them really aren't very tempting. The only one I'm tempted by is Dundee United. I actually quite admire Dundee United. I see them a few times on the box. They've got a decent stadium at Tannadice, and they're just renowned for a great youth setup, and they seem to be able to kind of prize big players through their youth setup and kind of flog them on. People like Ryan Gold, of course, made a $3 million move, I think, didn't he, to Sporting Lisbon this year. Kind of very off the cuff for a young Scottishman. Also, they've got people like Gary Mackay-Steven who've come through. Don't know whether they have their full team here. They've John Suter, Stuart Armstrong, Nadir Chifki, and then a few experienced players. They've got Sean Dillon still, I think, who's been there for ages. But anyway, they've got a very decent and a start-up point for a Scottish team, a very rare Scottish team that actually has a very good youth setup, a better youth setup than that of Celtic, and it's kind of trying to bring down Celtic and make Dundee United the kind of big force of Scottish football and in Europe. And that is option number 4, so that leaves us with our last option. And our last option, I don't know actually who to go with necessarily, but so I try to get it up. Here we go. It would take place in the Serie A. And now this one's kind of open to interpretation, apart from Juve, I think. Italy is really a country in decline at the moment. It's a country that's kind of aging, kind of renowned, not necessarily their international team, but just for a fairly dire football, kind of old school defensive football, and I don't like to see it because there's a few huge clubs in Italy that are really punching under their weight at the moment in Europe and in the Serie A. Like Juventus are just raping that league at the moment. They are in this save, they are in real life, really. So my challenge would to take over. And now if you pick this one, I'll just probably make the choice myself. But unless you add a comment saying which one especially you'd like to see. But would be Inter Milan. Yeah, Inter Milan got plenty of potential in them. AC Milan, and Roma, who are three huge clubs in Italy. Huge clubs with great players in there. You know, Totti, De Rossi for Roma. In Milan, you've got Abati, Rami, El Shawari. And Inter, you've got still Handanovic and Ranocchia and people like that. You know, really top Jan Villa, Mauro Icardi, Nemanja Vidic, of course Ashley Cole at Roma. You know, plenty of potential, but just none of them doing anywhere near enough in real life. And again, another one you don't see too often, I don't think. Not many people venture into the Italian league, so it's quite complicated with all the co-ownership stuff. But to be honest, I don't think I'd be faffing around too much with co-ownerships unless it was some really good Italian youngsters. Otherwise, I'd probably be bringing in the bulk of players from abroad and trying to bring up kind of a dream team. Like all these three teams, they are quite big, but none of them are really financially stable at the moment. So it's not, even though it sounds as a slightly easier one, it really isn't, because it's not like going to Man City or something where you're just given like loads of cash, you know, splash that, or PSG even where you're just kind of given hundreds of millions. So really, it would be quite a difficult task, but one that I'd be really quite look forward to doing. Anyway, there you go. You have 5 options there. There will be a straw poll in the prediction, Jesus Christ, in the description. We're closing this video now. It's 10 to 6. Get voting. Vote ends at 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening, and that's probably at around 9, half 9. The first episode of that new series will come out. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, remember to vote, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye.